The Fanatic Brackets, episode number 3 on the Ring Fanatics YouTube channel. I am Nick, your host. With me, as always, is my co-host for this show, Joel, and for the Ring Fanatics as well. Today, before we even get to the topic and before we get further into this, go subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Ring Fanatics, as well as all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, literally anywhere else we could be found, including the audio streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, etc. So today, before I even introduce the guests, the topic is the best Mania main event that was chosen by our guest. The guest is none other than our good friend from Rewind Recap Relive, Jonah. What's going on, man? How you been?
What's going on, Nick, Joel? Thank you for pronouncing the name right. Not everyone gets it right. Tough. It's a tough one, but thank you. Yeah, it's so cool to be here. We were talking like off camera. Was here, I guess, 2 years ago now, which is crazy.
I believe so. Yeah,
definitely good friends. Crazy. I can't believe it. And yeah, Nick, I saw you less than that, right? Because we went to AEW like maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I think it was 2021. We went to Grand Slam, and then so I saw you in person for the first time. That was the first time we saw each other in person too.
Damn,
I love that.
In person, man.
I know.
You were there too. You were there too.
Yeah, I was all the way on the other fucking side.
Right. I remember. Okay, and then Anthony was there too. That was man, that was so much fun. No, it's cool. This like. We all started this, I guess, when the world was like kind of shut down. So now that it's opening back up slowly or whatever, we could. I met who else? Kofi from the Dirty Heels. I seen him around. Any of the New York City people. It's I
think Backstage Brawl was there too, but I didn't.
Backstage Brawl, they were there. They go to all these events. They did like a huge meetup once too of a bunch of podcasts. I forget where.
It was like a podcast metaverse for like.
It was a podcast metaverse. Oh my God. No, but it's been fun though. I like the ones who stuck around, who keep doing it, putting in the work. You guys, of course, and
thank you.
You got a bunch of others there too. Yeah, thank you. So it's fun. I'm so excited to be here. Sorry I'm not on camera, by the way. This works better when I'm on my phone for this. I've noticed with StreamYard. So
no worries.
I could give you a picture to slap up there. So
of course.
Doesn't look so weird. All right. Yeah.
So
hop into this.
You chose this topic of the greatest main event of Mania history. Can you mind explaining why you chose this topic to have us do? Because it's pretty interesting. I like this topic.
I'm glad you like. Yeah, I thought what came to my mind first. My favorite event is Royal Rumble, so I was like, let's do that. But that already passed, and I thought with WrestleMania on the horizon, this could be a fun one, especially seeing how they change. Because through the years, you've got some Mania main events that some might say flopped a little bit, and. Then you got ones that, we still remember to this day that when we watch, we still get goosebumps and everything. So I think it was the perfect topic to go with. And it's also because some of these, and I said this, like, since we're younger, like, I think some of the newer ones will resonate with us more. But who knows? I'm excited to see if you guys maybe surprise me and go with, like, WrestleMania 3 over 15, over, like, 30.
Yeah, we'll see. That's the beauty of this. So I'm going to explain the rules of the show for the viewers who have not seen a previous episode. So Joel, myself, and Jonah have, we thought about who we're gonna have go on to the next round. We have not discussed it yet. We don't know who we chose, which we're gonna do now soon. Whichever main event gets at least 2 or 3 votes between the 3 of us, we'll move on to the next round. All the way up to the finale, the final round of the bracket. Really, this is based off of whatever we want to do, whether it's a storyline, whichever had the best match. We can literally look at this whatever way we want to. Yeah. So there is no right or wrong answer. It's based off opinion only. So let's get right into it. The first matchup between the bracket was WrestleMania 15, which was Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock for the WWF Championship versus WrestleMania 3, Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. Let's start with Jonah. Because you're our guest. Who do you have? I'm putting the pressure on you right here.
I know.
Who do you have going on to this next round between these 2 main events?
WrestleMania 3. That's like actually this is a funny matchup here. I feel because WrestleMania 3 is so iconic, but we all know that it really wasn't much of like a match. It was more just like the spectacle. For that time period, I'm sure people were amazed, but still, it was. You had other things going on then too, way better wrestling. But Also, by legend has it, the most people there. I've heard that might not be true, but most people ever at that WrestleMania. So you got those things working into the effect. I feel like there's a lot of categories you can go with here, like how the crowd was reacting, like maybe the undercard. But I'm gonna put that. I gotta go with The Rock though. I gotta go with The Rock and Austin. Like all those things said about how great 3 was.
Mm-hmm.
That's Rock and Stone Cold at 15, and
The first one.
the first one exactly, right? And then what do we get it again at? We have it at 17.
17?
Well,
17 and then at 19.
and then 19, yeah. And I know 17 is a lot of people's like favorite WrestleMania of all time. Which I don't, we'll get to that, but I think I'm gonna put 15 up there just for it's Rock and Austin, the first one, like Joel said, and I think it was probably a better match. I think if I went back and watched it, this is another way I'm gonna try to determine this. If I went back and watched it, does it hold up to today?
Yeah.
Thoughts. And I'd love to see the slam from Hulk to Andre, but that's about it in that match.
Yeah. That is true. Joel, who do you have between 15 and 3?
15. WrestleMania 3 is the most overrated
Yeah.
main event in history of wrestling. I hate that fucking match so much.
But
The old
which
heads love it so
You're talking about
much.
3? Yeah.
Like, but again, I guess it's the time that you're growing up because, as Jonah said, a lot of people is WrestleMania 17, and that was like the second WrestleMania I watched live. So 17 always holds a special place in my heart, even though if you look back at it, and it might not, some matches might not hold up today, I will still fight for 17, just like people will fight for 3. But I just think WrestleMania 3 main event is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, I was never a fan. I know it was a big moment. I get it. I don't give a fuck. Like, it was a bad match. You know what I mean? Like, up against Rock and Austin, come on.
No comparison.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that is true. That is true. I think we're gonna have to clean sweep this one. I also got number 15 for Rock and Austin because for 3, like I feel like that body slam from Hogan to Andre was like probably the only thing I've heard about that match. Really, besides that
that
moment,
was all that happened.
Yeah, I feel like it's all that happened because if you think about it, like, was it a great match before and after?
No,
no,
Andre could hardly move. Come on.
That's what I was looking at.
Andre could hardly move, and Hogan could never wrestle. So it
was like the perfect match.
Yeah, and plus Mania 15, that main event was like the start, I guess, like the trilogy between Austin and Rock. I guess.
Right.
That kind of started the 3 Mania main event feud between the two. So
yeah,
I feel
like the first Attitude Era Mania too, I believe.
Yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah, and also what's cool is they both kind of. It's interesting, like going off of what you said again, Joel. It's they both defined a generation, but I just think one generation was a little cooler. If I have to be honest,
100%.
Being biased here, no worries.
Yeah, like the one that Hogan and Andre defined is, like you said, the old heads, which we respect them, but different time. That's like Duke the Dumpster Droese time and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think 15 was probably the easier choice between the two. I know that was a long time ago. So I don't know. I just don't really see the necessary hype for them for Mania 3 main event between Hogan and Andre.
Yeah.
So next matchup we have is WrestleMania 30 main event with a triple threat: Daniel Bryan, Batista, Randy Orton for the unified heavyweight championships, and WrestleMania 12 between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels WWF Championship Iron Man match.
Yep.
Joel, let's start with you with this one. Who do you got moving on to the next round?
So I already know who's moving on. I already know what you guys are gonna pick, but I can't let the Iron Man match get swept. So I'm gonna pick the Iron Man match.
Right.
Also, I know a lot of people say it's overrated and stuff. It's not that good. I don't know. I think I grew up watching it. Like, I had it on VHS, and I would just replay it, and I knew, like, the spots down. So, like, it was one of those matches that just was always around me. So, I grew up watching it. I loved it. Now, go back and watch it. It's not the greatest match, but it is what it is. It was for the time. The new generation was just coming up. It was kind of making a point. But, yeah, I just couldn't let them get swept.
So you got 12?
That's respectable.
Yeah.
He took one for the team. I like it.
Exactly.
Who do you have, Jonah, between 30 and 12?
I mean, he predicted it, and the only reason is because I remember how I felt when
Yeah.
WrestleMania 30 came around, and that's like a big part of the deciding factor for me is like how it made me feel this main event. 12, amazing, like it's a great main event. It truly is. An Iron Man match is a classic, but man, 30 was just the
Oh,
story. I remember
unbelievable.
unbelievable. The story leading up to it. Of course, everyone like that. I think it really transcended wrestling for once in our lifetime, which was really cool to see. Like we had John Cena, but Daniel Bryan was something else. Like I started seeing him pop up in like stores like Hot Topic and stuff, and
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
actually started caring a little bit about wrestling again, being like, who's this Daniel Bryan guy, And that to me is
Yeah.
always really cool because wrestling will forever be like a niche thing, which I'm fine with, but when it just gets that little pop, it's
Yeah.
nice.
It's a good
Uh
time.
it's a great time, and Daniel Bryan did that. So that lead up was huge. It was inspiring. I mean, so many things go into it, and then also just obviously Evolution, like taking on all of Evolution in one night. How can you, beat that? That's just it's the magnitude that was crazy. And then the matches itself I thought they were great. I really liked his match with Triple H, and I also really liked the triple threat at the end of there. So that was a so I'm gonna go with 30 for all those factors.
So I originally had 12, and I was gonna pull the upset.
Whoa.
I was ready to just punch in the the extra number for 12, but I think I'm gonna have. I think Jonah's explanation was like what got me to stick with 30, so I'm gonna say 30 now.
No, yeah, it was just
Yeah,
30 was special, man. 30
It
was
was
special, but I just couldn't let 12 get swept.
yeah,
yeah,
I
I was like,
understand.
3
That's
could
a
get swept,
reasonable
no
one though.
problem.
three
Get swept,
gets
no
swept, no
problem.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
12 I had to defend. Sean and Brett, come on.
John and Brett,
yeah,
Yeah.
the viewers will respect you for that. I
yeah.
can't.
Like me too. I respect that. It was a hard one too because I was like
Yeah,
12.
because you can't
Brett.
go against 30. 30 is just one of
Uh,
those that it was like, I don't know we'll ever get a main event like that type of story that the fans turned it into a main event. You know what I mean? I don't think we'll
yeah,
Yeah.
ever get that again.
I think I'm gonna be on the losing end of this next one, but I have my reasons.
Uh-oh.
Okay. No. Okay. Yeah, but I respect 12. I mean, I think that was the first Iron Man match that they had, like 60-minute one, I believe. If you have two legends going 60 minutes, especially two that have great chemistry together, I'm not gonna go up against it. Like I said, I had 12 originally,
Yeah.
but Jonah's explanation was like that convinced me to change
Spot
my
on.
mind.
Spot on.
Yeah,
Also with 12, I know a lot of people shit on that Iron Man match. I think it's great. But people always say because also the evolution of wrestling
Right,
like is
right.
always gonna change. So of course that one's gonna get outdated. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like the one we just had 2 weeks ago was incredible in Revolution. You know what I mean?
Oh
My
yeah,
all
yeah.
time favorite is Kurt and Brock at SmackDown in '03. You know what I
So
mean? So it's just an
so good.
evolution of
yeah.
wrestling that's why a lot of people look back at 12 and it's like, eh,
Nostalgia purposes, I guess. Like,
I guess I don't
It's
know.
still
I've
a good
always
match.
just it's a great match. I think
Yeah, it's
they
still a
just
great.
a lot of people don't like the slow pace.
yeah,
Right, slow pace. I for one think we actually have to not go back like wrestling's variety, but I love a slow pace in a match myself, like a slow build. Like
Yeah,
Randy Orton and Edge, I don't know why they ever marketed it as the greatest wrestling match of all time. I hated
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But it was a damn good match. Wasn't the greatest,
100%. Yeah,
wasn't even near it, but it was a damn good match. And they did that slow pace and that slow build. Not quite as slow, obviously, as 12, but still it was
yeah.
really I really like that build up. And I don't know. I like the variety. Like looking back on the match and shitting on it, I don't know why someone would do that. It was
Yeah.
it was a great match.
yeah, yeah. That was a tough one. I thought it was gonna be easy slide, but it was like I think I really get convinced on the show to change my mind, but that Jonah, your explanation to kind of switch me over. I
Yeah,
usually stick to my answer.
Nick listens. I will die on a hill, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I
no,
know Joel will hear
it's
this.
this.
yeah. Joel will never change his answer or anything. So next matchup, we got WrestleMania 28, the quote unquote once in a lifetime match between The Rock and John Cena versus WrestleMania 19, Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle for the WWE Championship. I'll start this one off. I got The Rock versus John Cena. I think although it happened again, I still think the build up for that 28 match was different. Um, the the result of that match also changed. It was the year after that, leading it. I know the people, not a lot of people liked the second match for 29. But I think the story of that one too was also great when the downfall of Cena, everything started going down because he lost one match to The Rock.
Yeah.
I felt like that was also great storytelling looking back at it. And also that year-long build-up. I know, Joel, we spoke about it too on Thursday that you didn't like that 1 year build-up. But
it was a tough one. But
yeah, but it was still good. It
made the point, yeah.
Yeah, it made the point, and it was a once in a lifetime. It was supposed to be once in a lifetime between two different generational stars going head to head. I think the anticipation, the hype for that match was, I think, it wouldn't. Not a lot of main events would. I don't want to say is that great, but that was just different for me. I don't know why.
Yeah,
it's just a different build up. So I had to choose 29 over 19.
Gotcha.
Jonah, who do you have winning this one, Jonah?
So I'm so torn because Brock is my favorite wrestler. Period. He's Brock and Jeff, but not talking about Jeff. So Brock's there, and but 28 was my first WrestleMania I ever went to.
Gotcha.
Person. It was a graduation gift from middle school, I think. So sentimental as hell. Rock and Cena being in Miami and feeling it too and everything, and the hype from everyone. I'm gonna put that over a lot of Manias, even though it might not deserve it. But
yeah,
another thing though with that main event too is I guess that one is even more similar to WrestleMania 3 in that maybe the match wasn't fantastic, but it did really give a lot of people, and it wasn't a bad match either. It just wasn't.
No, it delivered.
It delivered, but the hype around it is really what I think puts it on any list of great main events. It's just how could Rock and Cena not draw or become memorable or all those type of things in your mind. So I think, yeah, I feel like I gotta go Rock and Cena, mostly from a sentimental point because Brock and Kurt is great, and of course it too has its moment though with the shooting star.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was. It's such a tough one, but I'm gonna go 28. And I'm curious though, Joel, why didn't you like the 1 year build? Because I actually did like that build.
The build wasn't bad. I was just mad that they told you the night after Mania. If they would have not told you that and let it just build and build and build, I would have been fine with it. And then maybe around Survivor Series put out the challenge.
Right.
But that you knew it wasn't gonna happen till next April just was
dreadful.
I was impatient as a child.
Yeah.
I was we gotta wait a fucking year for this match.
You
know what I mean? But it was a great build. It was just a year that was you knew they were gonna cut promos back and forth. You knew they were never gonna touch each other. You know what I mean? It was just one of those.
Yeah.
But the build was fine.
They did. I know. I thought they made it creative, but you're right. I definitely now that you're saying impatient, I guarantee I was how old were we? Are we all the same age right now?
I'm 24.
I'm 24.
Okay, I'm 25, yeah.
All right, so we were all the same age. However old we were back then, I guarantee I was getting pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when it happened, when they announced it, it was oh shit, it's happening. But then over time, it's wait, it's a year from now.
A year.
Because it didn't really, for me, I think I remember it didn't really hit me till later on, midway. I was why is it? Why did they announce it? The night after? Why couldn't they just wait? But at the time, I was when the night it happened, I was it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a great build.
It was a great build, and then the I forget what. No, that's I think for the second one. Have you guys seen the video package they made? It's one of my favorite. Sometimes I just go back and watch the best video packages made.
Some video packages are amazing.
They're oh god, they're so good. And
I have to go back and watch that one.
The one with Rock and Cena, I think it was for the second match because it's how Cena's life fell to pieces after losing Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's they put his real life divorce into it and all that stuff. It was so well done. It was really really good.
No,
yeah. Did you see the video that was going around social media where he called out? I think it was for his A&E show
promos on his wrist.
Yeah, and I'm I didn't really notice. I know he called him out on it during the feud, but it was I never realized it till that show came out. I was he did write on his wrist.
The Rock did.
Yeah. You actually show it. He sees words written out
while he's in the ring, you see it on his wrist while he's holding the mic.
Oh, that's wild. I have to see that. Wow.
Yeah. That's why he called him out, because I was like, I thought it was just like a random diss.
I thought it was a joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Till that, I think it was on Rivalries.
Rivalry. It was one of those A&E shows.
Have you guys been watching those and keeping up?
Not really.
I did
honestly.
last year.
Last
this
year
time around, I haven't.
Fair. Are they worth it, you think?
I want to get into it. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but
this year I feel like I don't know, they haven't really caught me with the docs, like with catching my eye or nothing. So this year I haven't been watching. But the last run around was good.
That's also like a lot of them, what's with me is like they have Jake, they have China, some great games, but I already saw like the dark side of the ring. So I feel like I saw a little bit, and Dark Side of the Ring is so good. It's so well made. Yes. I don't know. It's hard to top it from like A&E's point. They make it a little bit longer, I guess. They're like an hour and a half, but still, it's not. Actually, what I was upset that WWE stopped doing was the icons. Did you watch those on the actual network or Peacock? They had
I think so. Yes. I think I remember watching a few, but it sounds familiar.
Were so good, and they scrapped it.
They just stopped.
Yeah.
They pissed me off with their streaming service.
Seriously,
like, why stop the good shows? You know what I mean? It makes no sense.
I really don't like, and they were doing so good, like WWE Studios or WWE Documentaries, whatever they were called. They should have kept that. Like A&E, cool. I know they must have made a deal with like they do the documentary part, but I love the network docs. They were so cool.
So good.
Yeah. So Joel, do you have 28 or 19?
19.
19. You don't want to get the sweep?
Kurt wrestled with a broken fucking neck.
He did.
Brock was on the rise. He did end up leaving the next year, but this was like, it was not passing the torch, but really showing you, this is the new generation.
Yeah.
Because it showed how we saw 15 and 17 Rock and Austin the main event to them becoming the co-main event. And Brock and Angle putting on a show, and then finding out after, years after that, Kurt Angle was working with a broken neck is ridiculous because that match is so good, and you couldn't even tell.
Yeah,
no, you couldn't tell at all. And Brock knocking himself out and still finishing is one of the coolest things ever.
So dangerous, man. so dangerous, but so good.
Out of his mind.
Wasn't that? I think you said, Jonah, the 19 match was the one where Brock did the shooting star press and almost broke his neck.
Yeah,
that was the same one? Okay,
yeah, that's Brock. And I heard that. I think on, I don't know what channel interviewed him, but I heard him say that was like his idea. Like Kurt said that was his idea for Brock to do that, and Brock was like, absolutely. But that was supposed to be the finish, though, is what they said.
It was great. Like, he knew how to do. What happened was Kurt was just too far.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have worked out. It would have worked out great. It looked vicious. A 300-pounder flying out of the sky.
Yeah.
It's just
tough
to think about.
If Brock went to the wrong corner or just Kurt didn't see where
I think he went too far out. It looked like he went too far out, so he couldn't.
It's crazy with those two also, rarely making a mistake. Careers overall. So that's wild that's their most infamous, and it's a crazy mistake to make.
Yeah.
But
in the main event too.
In the main event, it must have been a lot of pressure. I could see it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he debuted the night after 18 and then main evented the very next year.
Damn, that's crazy.
I heard that
ridiculous, man.
Brock is. That's why I love Brock so much, and he also, it's interesting because he has those 2 careers under his belt now, where it's kind of like who is like Shawn Michaels almost, right? Where you got to split him in half a little bit. Those careers. Yeah,
that is true. Yeah, the Here Comes the Pain Brock, and then the comeback.
Yeah.
So it's 2 different. It's just obviously the same person.
UFC champ. That's the two generations of Brock, man. And it's cool that we got to see both of them, and he's still going.
And we saw a little bit of New Japan Brock.
Almost. Yay.
Almost. Yay. So excited. But 28 got the win there. Next round matchup, WrestleMania 20 with Benoit, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Then
WrestleMania 14. Yeah, WrestleMania 14, Stone Cold versus Shawn Michaels for the WWE Championship. With Mike Tyson as a special enforcer.
Oh my
God.
This is a horrible one. Okay.
Joel, you want to kick us off with this one?
Fuck, Nick.
That's great.
I was like, I had to
Okay.
do Joel this one.
Okay, let's talk about it.
That's so.
14 was the kickoff of the Austin era, right? 14 was also the first time, like the last time we saw Sean when he went away, um, because of his back. And then, yo, I think Jonah, did we talk? Have I ever told you my theory about Sean?
No, tell me. Tell me.
Here we go. I think Sean was never hurt. I think
Okay.
Sean got paid to stay at home so that he would not go and jump to WCW. And
Right.
then when WWF bought WCW, miraculously he prayed to God and his back was magically fixed. I believe in God, but for him just to say one night I just prayed, woke up the next morning, my back was healed. It was like, yeah, I think it was called Ted Turner just gave up WCW.
It was
I don't
your
think,
god. Your
yeah, I
god
don't
was Vince McMahon.
exactly. So I
he had
think
a feud with him too, so it's
he
good.
got paid to sit at
True.
home and not jump ship.
You know what? You're not the first person. I don't know if you thought of that theory yourself. You've been thinking of that, or did you hear it somewhere?
I've just always thought it, and
That-
then
yeah.
I've heard it somewhere, and I heard it, and I was like, thank God somebody else thinks it.
Yeah, because I definitely it sounds so familiar. I've heard that before, and I don't know. Like you look at how he left because of quote like you said his back, and then
Yeah, and it's not like he never did that before when he lost his smile.
yeah,
Because he didn't want to fight Brett.
right.
So it just makes sense, man.
It does make sense, and you see the work he put on when he did come back. I mean, maybe he was rehabbing or whatever, but
Yeah.
it didn't look like the person with a career-ending back injury. That's for sure.
Exactly. Thank you, Jonah. Thank you. Let's put that out there. Okay, so yeah, that was a great match, and then you got WrestleMania 20, which is a ridiculous main event.
Yeah.
So good that because of what happened with Benoit, they had to erase it and then actually remake it at WrestleMania 30. If you think about it, step for step, even the finish.
Oh wow.
And it's the underdog going against two of the older guys that been there, the two vets,
Yeah.
and the underdog comes out on top. Great match, also. But fuck, I don't know, man. Might have to give it a 14. I'm just a Stone Cold mark. I fucking love Stone Cold. This was the start of everything for him. Not for everything, but like as a champion and being the top person in the company. So I gotta go with 14.
Yeah. Jonah, who do you have for this one too? Who do you say with 20 and 14?
For this one, I mean,
Also tough. I know it's really tough to say between these two.
yeah, this is a really tough one, and Joel said it all. I think, my mind is blown right now from what he just said that they recreated at WrestleMania 30. I never made that connection, and they totally did.
Yeah, the spot on the table, the finish of the
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably go with 20 because I've heard people say that is like their favorite main event of all time, and I just watched it recently too. I love it. I love it so much. And like you said, there's there's so much story to it. Not that there's not for 14, but I'm gonna go with 20. I'm gonna land on 20.
I'm not mad at 20, but I'm gonna get this one to 14 to be honest,
Fair.
because I think one of those that build up itself with Tyson being involved.
Yeah,
was one of my favorite build ups and favorite moments because you remember I think after that I think it was when he joined DX, and then the whole match of he's switching sides, like who's he supporting? Austin, he was supporting Michaels. Then that whole moment when he had a whole scuffle with Austin in the ring. That whole moment was just like, okay, that was my favorite build up and favorite moment in the ring.
Yeah.
So I just kind of prefer that one. I think the build up was much better for me, in my opinion, between the two. The matches were great. I'm not saying anything bad about the matches, but the build up for that one was probably better, the best one between the two for me, in my opinion. So I'm gonna have to go with 14 on that one.
Yeah, that was tough.
It was tough. It was tough. Because match perspective, they're both just as good.
Yeah.
So I just thought the build up probably added it for me for 14.
Yeah,
over
maybe
20.
because of like what happened after, or like everything happened after 20. We don't see it as much of an impact as 14.
Yeah.
because
it's
of the shit
true.
that went down.
Yeah,
Probably.
I see it more as like a one-time hit than I do like something that set anything into motion.
Yeah.
20, yeah.
Yeah. Probably.
But it was a great fucking match.
It was. It was
So
tough, but it
It
was a
was
good
so
one.
tough, man. Yeah.
So the next matchup, we got WrestleMania 36 Night 1, which was the Boneyard match between Undertaker and AJ Styles versus WrestleMania 23 Main Event, John Cena versus Shawn Michaels for the WWE Championship.
Oh, so good.
I know, and I will start this one off actually. I'm gonna go with WrestleMania 23
Okay.
because
All grown up. Love it so much.
I just think that 23. I think that
That was the tagline.
it was cool because it was cool because of the whole like I'm not really a big fan of like can they coexist type of thing, but like the whole buildup of them becoming tag champs, losing weren't they tag champs during the main event or did they lose it before?
No,
Then what?
I think they won it the Monday right before Mania, right?
Yeah, so they were tag champs
I
during.
think they went in as champs. Yeah.
Yeah,
because
so
they
I
said,
think
"Fuck
that
it, we
was
don't know what
cool.
we're doing with the tag belts. Just throw it on them."
But it was cool though because they also went up against I think Batista and Undertaker who were also feuding that same Mania. So it was like that whole build up to it was like, you know, I think it was pretty cool. But also with Undertaker and AJ Styles, that although it was a great Boneyard match, it was cinematic, the first cinematic match, one of the best cinematic matches I think during that era.
Probably the best, honestly.
Probably, yeah,
Best,
I would say the best one. But I think if you also got to think about it too, like we don't know what it would have been like if there was an actual audience, if it wasn't cinematic.
It's true.
Would it have been different? Most likely, yeah. So I don't know. I just think of it like that. Like what they originally planned. Besides Undertaker winning, what were they thinking about doing during the match? Would have been just as good. We don't know. So I'm not like shitting on the feud and the storyline and the match, but like I don't know. That's what kind of questioned me a little bit about this. Although it was a great main event, I had to stick with 23. I think that one was the favorite between the two. Who wants to go next to answer this one?
Jonah can go.
Yeah, this. So 23, I said all grown up. I love that theme so much. I don't know. It was like they did a lot of marketing for different manias. There's some that never hit, like greatest match of all time, I think we said. But this one for me hits. And I don't know if it's just nostalgia. It's like one of the first manias I think I watched. What year was this mania?
I think 2007, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's around that time, I definitely watched it live. So it's there for me. Cena and Michaels, great match too. I mean, how could they have a bad match? Shawn Michaels, Mr. WrestleMania. So, all that being said, 36, really great match for. I don't like cinematic matches. I'll come out and say it right now. And that's like maybe the first hint that I'm starting to get a little older as a wrestling fan. But I'm like, these stupid cinematic matches, I think they could be fun, but they're just not for me. However, I will say they did a good job. I was really shocked, especially because that was the same year we saw the Cena and Bray like cinematic thing too, right?
Yeah, the same one.
And that one, I know that was hit or miss for a lot of people. Very like down the middle for me. Not my type of match, but the Boneyard thing was. So, this is so tough. That's what I think about each one. I think I'm gonna give it to 23 though. I am, even though the Boneyard match was really good and technically Taker's last match, right?
Yeah, it was.
And it was a great way right off into the sunset and be able to hide the fact that he might not be able to move that well anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm still giving it to 23 though. Iconic. I love that.
And they were able to rehearse it too, just in case if like he couldn't go full 20 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah, they were able to rehearse. You're right, and I heard like they were in just some field, like some cold field. Just filming. Which sounds awesome. Like, I think they were like a high school film club or something. Like
WWE club.
WWE club.
Joel, who do you have winning this one?
36. Gotta give it Taker.
Really? I thought he was going with 23.
Me too. I'm surprised this is too.
23. Taker Batista was better than the main event.
It was.
Okay, yeah. I wouldn't argue with that. Yeah.
But 36 was just end of an era. Undertaker got to see the first like a great cinematic match. Um, AJ and Undertaker, like two guys you never thought you would see together.
Yeah.
Tough we couldn't see them in the ring, but maybe it was for the better. Like you said, it got to hide that he was getting older. He couldn't move the way he used to. Um, but yeah, it's just AJ and Taker, man. I gotta
AJ
give it to
Taker.
36.
The build for that was great too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
calling him Mark. Then
Called it. Yeah,
like just it was
Yeah, that
great.
was
It was
yeah,
great. And it
good to
was
call him Mark.
tough because they were in front of no one building this shit. Like in
yeah.
front of just the cameramen at the performance center.
If
And
there
it's
was,
just
yeah,
it was probably a tough build for them to do, but they actually I think they were the one match on that card that actually had everyone's attention.
Yeah.
oh, absolutely, they were, and yeah, there's always that. What was that one line Taker said that sticks when he goes to AJ? He's like, "You were always fine being a big fish in a small pond." I was like, "That's fucking
Yeah.
great." Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was just great, and that's why I gotta give the edge to 36 over the
That's fair,
23.
Yeah, that's fair. I wouldn't argue with that one. That's pretty fair.
but you still went with 23 though, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Magic goes, oh wait, no, I'm changing my mind. I'm
No,
just
I
changing
changed my
it
mind
now.
real quick.
I think you were trying to avoid the sweep this time.
Nah, I just 36. I just got that. I'm a Undertaker's my guy. His
Undertaker's
last
great.
match, yeah, it was just like it was fun watching it. It
Yeah.
wasn't
It was.
like watching him be old and move around the ring and be like,
Especially since we were all like, that was 36, so we were all inside, right?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we were
It
all
was
like
something
at home.
different,
there was
and it
something.
was actually good. It wasn't bullshit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like you said, a lot of the cinematic matches, a lot of them became bullshit, but this one will always be on the top of the list.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. 100%. I agree with that too. Next matchup, WrestleMania 26, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, Career versus Streak versus WrestleMania 17 main event, which was the second Rock versus Austin match.
This one is also tough as hell.
Yeah. So I want to start this one off too because I think that WrestleMania 26 was. I'm going to go with 26 because I think that one was an iconic build and iconic matchup, especially for the career of Shawn Michaels. I think that was probably the way that he wanted to go out, and the importance of
Yeah,
that.
but he actually went out of Saudi Arabia, so.
Oh yeah, I mean, I tend to forget that. Technically, no, but that's. I mean, in terms of his long career at that time, it was like, yeah, it's probably when he wanted to go out too.
Yeah.
I remember.
I don't know who that was in Saudi. It wasn't Sean.
Yeah, it wasn't Sean.
that was Sean cosplaying as Nick Gage. That's who the fuck that was. HBK,
Cowboy Nick
HBK.
Gage. That's what it was.
HB Gage.
But yeah, I just think that the whole storyline really got me invested heavily in that one over The Rock versus Austin. So, and I have to give it the edge to that one, and give it to 26. Jonah, who do you have for this one?
I'm going 26. Rock and Austin, phenomenal. Wait, did I pick Rock and Austin? Yeah, we did for the first one, so I don't feel bad about this. Then I'll go with 26. 26 was great. I remember watching that Mania live too. Really, really cool. Anything from my childhood, I'll basically put up there, even though nostalgia glasses will totally ruin it. But no, 26 was a really fun WrestleMania, and I just but Rock and Austin was phenomenal. I'm gonna put 26 though.
Okay. Joel, do you have 26 as well?
17, there's no question about it. 17, no question.
No question.
No hesitation right
about it. The height of wrestling of all time. They had just bought WCW. They had the two giants going against each other.
Yeah.
The build to it was incredible. Building on top of 15, building on top of all the pay-per-view matches they had. They threw Deborah in there for some reason. I don't know why. And then forgot about her 2 weeks after. I don't know, man. It's just Rock and Austin, man. It's just that period was just incredible. And I remember watching it live and just like the heel turn that happened. I was like, why the fuck is he shaking Vince's hand? And then it made you be like, I gotta tune in tomorrow. What the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just one of those times. A lot of people will argue what happened early during or fucking marks online. But listen, at the time when you were watching it, it was incredible. It was something you never thought you would see, especially after all the years since '97 that Vince and Austin were going back and forth with each other. This was long-term storytelling and actually having them finally come together. And yeah, 26, great build. Sean Taker, awesome. Love it. Can't argue against it. But 17 was just that. It was just during a time that was incredible. And then the match was on top of it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Match phenomenal. Undertaker and Shawn. Does anyone know if now I don't really go with these ratings, these star ratings, but I think is that true that was the only 5-star match in wrestling in WWE was Undertaker Shawn WrestleMania 26.
I wouldn't doubt it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I think it might be.
There's
But I don't.
I think there's only like either one or like a handful, as in like maybe 4 or 5 that Meltzer has rated 5 stars.
This might have been the first one though.
It might have been
I would say the first one.
Yeah, such a good match. But yeah, I mean,
100%.
Rock and Austin, you really can't compare with some of these guys. It's tough. It's so tough. Shawn and Taker, Rock and Austin. I don't know.
Yeah. Was this an upset for you, Joel? Was this an upset? Did you have 17 going to the finals?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I
It's
told
March
you,
Madness.
17
So
I will die on the hill. Same way old hells will die on the hill for Andre and Hulk.
yeah.
I will die on this hill for Austin and Rock at 17.
Oh fuck!
Any
I
of
just
their
realized
matches.
I knew it, but I didn't even realize. Yeah, we just knocked 17 out. That's like the greatest WrestleMania ever.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an upset.
This list will not be well received.
Exactly. People are going to be like, what?
But it is going up against. And also, we're not talking about the whole cards. We're talking about the main event.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Yeah.
It's just one match compared to the whole. If it was the whole entire card, things would be different.
It's tough putting those two together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very tough. Very
those
tough.
are two of the best storyline wise, wrestling wise, greatest main events. Like they're up there, so it's tough.
Yeah, it was. Next matchup, WrestleMania 22, John Cena versus Triple H for the WWE Championship versus WrestleMania 37 Night 2, which was the triple threat, Roman Reigns, Edge, Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship. Joel, do you want to start off this one, or do you want to?
Yeah, I'll start it off. I'm gonna go. I love 37, but I gotta go with 22. I enjoyed it more. I remember it being built up the way it was built. And I was probably, I don't even know what grade I was in at this time, but I remember it was always one of those things after Monday Night Raw, you go in Tuesday and be like, did y'all see Raw?
Yeah.
I saw Cena and Triple H, and then it was just the build up for that, and then them actually having the match. And a lot of people will say, oh, wasn't the greatest, but it was a good fucking match. You know what I mean? And 37 was great also. 37 for me was it's tough because it was just, as an older wrestling fan, just keep seeing WWE putting themselves in the corner, having Roman win all the time. And I was like, fuck, y'all keep doing this, like putting yourself in the corner. He just beat both of them, like, and the way he beat them, it was tough. But I think for nostalgia reasons, I gotta give it to 22.
Yeah, Jonah, who do you have for this one? Roman.
I think Joel needs to look in the mirror and start acknowledging the tribal chief because that is the birth of what we're in right now. I gotta give it to 37, but I will say 22 is. I mean, that one of those. I wouldn't say it defined like a generation necessarily, but it was a culmination of a lot of things, and also like. They were real, like Cena was really coming into it, right? And they were like, you know what? Let's see how you fare against like two of our biggest guys.
Exactly, yeah.
So that was a big moment. But 37, I love that you was this on purpose to put triple threats next to each other? Because that's kind of cool. Two triple threats. But
no, this wasn't triple threat. This was John Cena versus Triple H.
No, John Cena versus Triple H, right?
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about Michaels. Oh,
no.
Oh no.
There we go. Yeah. No, but I'm still going with 37 though.
This whole bracket was randomized. I did not put this together. It was randomized.
That's fair.
I like how Nick put himself clear. I did not.
I just
put the fucking matches in.
I didn't
randomize that.
I love it.
Don't come for that, guys.
I'm still going 37 though. That was great. I didn't want Roman to win. I wanted Edge because I thought Edge deserved that one more title win, and
I think everybody wanted Edge.
Yeah, I think everyone
wanted Edge, and then Bryan, of course. How could you not want Bryan? Like maybe sneak in there and get another huge main event.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sticking 37. It was cool.
Yeah. I mean, I do acknowledge the tribal chief, but I also acknowledge my two childhood favorites in Triple H and John Cena.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna choose that match. I think just the thought of them two being in the ring together, that feud was like, I don't know, I could not go against it. Although I do think the 37 one was a great build up, great match overall, and the way he pinned both of them together at the same time, that was pretty sick to end it. But yeah, I just couldn't go up against John Cena versus Triple H, so I'm gonna go with that one to move on.
I respect
That's
that.
that was like a
Childhood
no brainer
favorites.
for me, a no brainer. Next matchup, WrestleMania 31, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Then eventually with Seth Rollins versus the WrestleMania 37 night one, Bianca versus Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Um, Jonah, do you want to start this one off?
Yeah. So, oh man, this is
We're
this
gonna
is a
piss
tough one.
people off either way we pick. On
Yeah,
this
we
one.
really. This is such a contested. Both of these are people's favorites. I feel.
Yeah.
31. I was also there for lucky enough. First
That's
time
fire.
Cali. That was crazy.
Nice.
Um, yeah. Oh man, I remember the reaction that everyone had when Rollins was coming out, and also it's rare to be a wrestling fan for so long and really not know how something's gonna work out, and that's how I
Yeah.
felt because nobody ever done that before. Just
Yeah,
making it a triple threat match, it was genius, and I think it really added. We hadn't seen a character crafted like that since probably Edge when it comes to craftiness, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah,
opportunistic and all that. So, and it really was. I mean, it catapulted Seth freaking Rollins. How could you not? And I love Brock too, but I knew once Rollins came out there, it was his moment. It really was. 37, you can't say enough good things about it. That was such a good main event.
it
Incredible.
was.
Um, Such a good main event. I gotta go with I'm leaning more towards 31, but 37 should not be knocked. It should
No, yeah.
Yeah, this is the tough thing about these brackets is like you don't know who's gonna get knocked out.
about to say maybe you guys both go at 37. I couldn't. I'm like Joel. I couldn't let 31 get swept. I'll say.
Joel, who would you say for this one? I'm gonna put the pressure on you here.
Love 31. Love 37. Both great matches. 31.
Yeah,
31, and I'll tell you why. Because it was Rollins did put it over the top for me, but watching the match and people were dreading watching Reigns and Brock go at it. Before Rollins comes out, it's not a bad fucking match.
It's
It's
not at
actually
yeah,
a good
all.
match,
yeah,
They're
and
kicking
it
the shit out of each other.
yes, and it proves so many people wrong about what that match could be. And just with Rollins coming out, that's the cherry on top. But just the story of them um, putting on throughout the match was just incredible. I remember the build up to the match. Yeah, you got the go home with them tugging at the belt, but you also had the. I always remember there was a January snowstorm, and it
Yep.
was right after Royal Rumble, and it was just Paul Heyman and Roman just interviewing each other, as you
yeah,
can see long term storytelling, because you see then he's like, we could work together,
yeah,
let's do this, and then years later you finally see it. But 31 just over, like we said, 37 incredible match, incredible main event, two talents that put in it all. You can't say enough good things, like Jonah said, but 31 just gets the edge.
yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say the same thing. I think the 31 main event with the cash in, that's gonna go down and talked about for years and years and years to go.
Yeah.
In 10 years from now, that's gonna be brought up again. In another 10 years from then, it's gonna be brought up again. I think every year for Mania hype up is gonna be brought up regardless. Same for
Yeah.
37 night one.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not saying that it isn't. 'Cause that was also a fantastic
Century
match.
heist of
But
the century.
yeah, the heist of the century. They had a tag for that. So I
Yeah.
think you know the the uh the importance of that cash in just really changed things for Mania main events.
Yeah. And
Uh,
also
Yeah.
it was adding on top of 30 of how this smaller guy won the belt. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
for Rollins to come in on those two giants and just take out both of them and actually
Yes.
win it
yes,
and get away with it, and then leading into the authority and doing all that shit, it was just overall
yeah.
just impeccable.
Yeah.
Impeccable.
What a time. What a time that was. So second round. Now we're heading to the second round. The first matchup here, WrestleMania 15, Stone Cold versus The Rock, and then WrestleMania 30, the triple threat, Bryan, Randy Orton, and Batista. Joel, do you want to start this one off?
I don't know why you would always go to me.
For the toughest one.
I don't know. I'm just saying random people.
Always. 15.
15.
15. And yeah, love 30. Great match. Want to hear a funny fact? Never, didn't even get to watch 30 live. Didn't
Why?
get to enjoy it. I was still stumped on the Taker match.
Because it happened right before.
I had to watch the replay
Oh,
day
so
after.
you had to go compose yourself?
No, I was watching it, but I was not paying attention. I just knew Bryan was gonna win, and I was just waiting for it.
I got
and
you.
I didn't really get to enjoy the match live. Then I had to go back and watch it, which it was a great match. But 15, the start of Austin Rock, the height of the start of the Attitude Era, them two just being the top dogs in the company and going at it and holding shit together. Yeah, I just gotta go with 15, man. It's more nostalgia than
it's more
being a better match than 30.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'm sorry to jump in, Nick. I don't know if you wanted to take it first.
Oh, you can go. No worries.
I think I'm gonna go against, I'm gonna go against what I said before. I'm gonna also go with 15, and here's why. And it is a surprise to even me, but no, I think I actually don't like. Not that I don't like. I wasn't a yes moving person. Maybe it's because the age I was trying to go against what was popular.
Yeah.
I was more for, but I am always a nostalgia person. I fucking loved Evolution. So seeing this guy take down my three guys who I saw when I was 5 and 6, I was like, no, but I was happy for him and I recognized the magnitude of what it did. Like we said, it transcended, but I can't say I was ever, yesing away or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I gotta go with 15 because Rock and Austin. I love him.
Yeah.
I love him.
Same here. I'm gonna go with 15 because
We just said fuck 30 the second time.
30's main event.
We totally
yes
turned
That's
on
what
it.
we said.
Look at us. We're really proving the fickle part of wrestling fans. It took 10 minutes to turn on that main event.
No, because the thing, I agree with both of your points because for 30 for both main events really because it's both of them really, how do I say, both of them affected wrestling long term, right? You had 30 with Daniel Bryan winning, the yes movement before and afterwards that lasted a long time. The 15 main event, the feud between Rock and Austin, it lasted a couple of WrestleManias. You know what I mean? It lasted longer. You can say the 17 was the better main event. The great feud and the history between those two is just it's like bread and butter, I guess. You know what I mean? They both go well together.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I just think that's the reason why I chose it. I couldn't just not go against it. My heart was telling me 15. I love 30. I love Daniel Bryan. I'm a big fan of his, but
15 is just 15, man.
Yeah. I could have not choose 15.
Rock and Austin, man.
Yeah. But I had to choose that one. Next matchup, WrestleMania 28, Rock versus Cena versus WrestleMania 14, the Stone Cold versus Shawn Michaels match. I'm going to start this one off. I'm going to choose 28 for this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think that, again, the importance of the two different generations going head to head, especially at that time, we didn't think it was going to happen. So that was that was my not early days of watching wrestling, but one of the main events that I was looking forward to the most. So I can't not choose and go against that one. Even though, like I said, I wasn't a big fan of the follow-up one, I do think specifically 28, the build-up and the leading to it was something I can't really, replace in terms of the build-up and how hyped I felt for that one.
Yeah.
So I had to go with 28. Jonah, do you want to go on this one? Who wants to go next? Joel?
Jonah.
Yeah, Joel never wants to go.
Guess first, man.
No, of course, and I get it. I wouldn't want to. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go with 28. I'm gonna go with 28 because, like I said, first WrestleMania, I can't go against it. I have to say 28. How about you, Joel?
I gotta go with 14.
14.
just the beginning of the Austin era, the beginning of them going up against and taking down WCW, the start of just Austin putting the company on his back. Love the 28 match. I said that before. Love seeing it rock. I just feel like 14 had more of a impact on the wrestling business than 28 did. Um, like I said, great match. 14 was also an awesome match, but just gotta give it to 14 just because of that. Just like I said, the start of the Austin era and him really putting them on his back and saying, "I'm gonna take you out to the promised land," which he did.
He
Even
did.
though WWE would love to tell you that it was DX that helped out a lot, but it was Stone Cold.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not mad at that choice too, because like I would say the same thing, but for me, just seeing the importance of Rock versus Cena was
Mm-hmm.
unbearable, I guess,
No,
for
yeah.
me. But I'm not mad. I was this is also a tough one, Not mad at it, but yeah. Next matchup, WrestleMania 26. Undertaker versus Shawn versus WrestleMania 23. John Cena versus Shawn Michaels.
Is
Who
this
wants to start this one off?
I'll start it off.
Yeah.
26. I don't even have to give an argument. Just
Yeah.
I'll say it. Taker and Shawn. Who's
It's
next?
I,
Like,
I love it because last round Joel totally was like Taker and Shawn, but like one with the other one, which I
oh
understand.
no, yeah.
I get
Rock and
that.
Austin, man. Come on,
Rock
at
and Austin.
17.
Yeah.
But
and
between these two, I
Take
don't think there's a
Shawn.
question.
It's funny as this show goes on. This is a good concept. I love it.
Yeah.
Because totally like your opinion just doesn't change, but it kind of does because the different options. Yeah, obviously, yeah, 26 all the way.
Yeah.
Watch
Yeah.
a lot. I think I watched 23 too, but like 26, I was older, and I remember that so well, like being glued to the screen for 26.
Yeah.
Not being able to, and really the first time I was understand because as we are a little younger, we didn't grow up with HBK. We did, but we
Yeah.
didn't. And I was starting to understand how significant he was to like wrestling as a whole. And how big of a moment this actually was that he could and eventually did actually, we're going to call it really retire, but we know what happened. 10, 15
It
years.
almost happened. He
It
almost
almost.
held out. I think it was just during the time that they just couldn't say no to Saudi Arabia. They just kept throwing money at them, and they were like, "Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it."
Yeah.
I still think we're in that time too. I feel like we're going to get I think we're going to get even crazier matches as the time goes on. Like I feel
I think so.
Like I heard Kurt Angle say he would do a match for like I think it was $3 million or something.
Yeah.
It was something ridiculous. Yeah.
Let's just get ridiculous ass matches in Saudi. Like,
Please.
give me Kurt Angle versus Tatanka. Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do it, man.
Two random people.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. What a build that would be.
Do you remember when they had first of all, can we bring back this? Because this was actually funny as hell. The greatest Royal Rumble. I like that. I don't know if that's a popular opinion. I love that. And I remember the Saudis were like, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia wanted Yokozuna, who is dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they just put in some random sumo wrestler.
Yeah.
They wanted
the Ultimate Warrior for the first one.
They wanted Ultimate Warrior, but like the fact that they were like they want Yoko, get that guy who doesn't look like.
Yeah, we'll
just
gotta place him, stand in.
Like they were treating him like, and these are people that there are rumors or whatever that they might like buy the business. They're gonna sell the business to the same people who were like, yeah, that's close enough to Yokozuna.
Yeah, that's close enough to Yokozuna.
I didn't even think of that. That's
me neither. I didn't even think about that either. Wow,
crazy.
Insane, man. These dream matches that they put together, it's like, what are they thinking? Like, who's in charge?
They did a lot of that stuff in they were doing it everywhere because they had that Down Under show in Australia.
Yeah.
Who fought there? I always confuse it. Was it Triple H and Cena, or was it?
That was the kickoff match. Yeah.
Triple H and Cena. Okay.
It was Lashley and somebody else.
Right.
Might have been Orton.
That's where Murphy won the title.
Yes.
Oh, cool. A cruiserweight. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, was that card wasn't as bad, but it
wasn't.
Still a little bit like, okay, this is random.
This yeah, right.
Yeah.
I love the build they do for those random matches. Sometimes like Cena and Triple H just randomly were like, "I hate you." Like I really just don't like.
I also remember like during, I think it was the Greatest Royal Rumble where it was originally supposed to be Jericho versus Undertaker in a casket match. Then Jericho was
What?
in New Japan. Then they
Yeah.
had
Oh, I
Rusev
didn't
do it.
know that.
Yeah. So they replaced him with Rusev, and it's like, and then he came out for the
Yeah.
Greatest Royal Rumble. I'm like, so he was still available. Why couldn't he do the casket
But
match?
he wasn't around to build it, I guess. I don't
I
know.
guess so. Yeah.
But neither was Undertaker. He just showed up at Saudi.
He
'Cause
just
they didn't really
Yeah.
build that shit.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh,
That's it was
funny.
confusing.
It's kind of really random. We had a casket match with Rusev and Undertaker. Like that.
Exactly. Right.
What a
It's
crazy
just
thing.
who
God.
thought I would have said that in 2020, whatever that year that was. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Guys, listen. I think all this talk. I think we might need to do a bracket of the greatest Saudi shows.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
would love that. Oh, I love
Just
that.
go through the card and be like, "Oh shit, I forgot that even happened."
Exactly.
I
The
would
random matches.
I make it my mission to push Goldberg Undertaker to the finish.
Wyatt versus Goldberg would be out in the first round. Wyatt versus
No,
Goldberg.
I wanted to come down to that. The two.
Oh,
Wait, was Saudi also the greatest wrestler in the world shit, or was that in Australia?
Oh yeah, with Shane. Yeah,
Yeah, that was in Saudi.
oh yeah, I think that was in Australia.
It
Was it?
Might
finished.
have been in Saudi?
No. It finished in Saudi. I'm almost positive. It like the final round. Didn't he beat Dolph
Okay.
Ziggler?
Yeah, because then
Yeah.
the Miz was supposed to be in it, then he replaced the Miz, and then
But then
Yeah.
something happened. Like somebody came out.
I think he hurt himself, and then Shane was like, you know what? I think he injured himself during the match. Then
Yeah.
Shane was
you
like,
know
oh,
what
I'll switch places with you. I'll
Yeah.
finish it.
That happened, and you know what I'm mixing that up with too. So that was Shane won that, and I think that was it. Like Shane won, and then nothing else happened after. But
That's what started the feud for them for Mania 35, I think.
for who? Miz and
Miz
Shane.
versus Shane, yeah.
That makes sense. But also, was it the following year that everyone was like, "Oh, Taker's gonna return," and it was like AJ did something at
There was some fucking tournament happening.
there was some
Undertaker
tournament,
ended
right?
up winning.
Yeah, because I'm totally mixing.
Yeah,
up.
because Undertaker returned at Elimination Chamber that year. That's
No,
what started it. Remember, it was the OC was in, and then he had both of them in the choke stand position.
yeah,
That was Elimination Chamber.
But that happened after.
that happened after because something happened in Saudi. I remember.
Saudi Undertaker just showed up,
He
Now I'm
just
gonna look
showed
that
up,
up.
right? Yeah.
and then
Yes,
that was supposed to be the start of the build to Mania.
Hold on.
What a
Crown.
random
And I gotta
ass-
search this up
I'm
now.
like really I really can't remember it. I'm so confused on how that actually because I know Taker was in Saudi with AJ. I just don't remember what it was after. Like
Yeah, that was the night when Strowman faced Tyson Fury, and then Cain
Gross.
Velasquez was there.
Gross.
God. Oh God.
Hold on, let me check.
Oh, God.
Bad.
Yeah, we need to do a bracket on this.
Wait,
AJ
did you
Styles,
was that the same?
It wasn't
was-
a tournament. It wasn't a tournament. AJ Styles won a United States Championship match,
Okay, and
and
then
then Taker just came out. I guess I
I
don't
feel
know.
like it was a tournament happening.
I also felt like it was a tournament.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I may have such.
No, you're probably right if you looked it up, but
Yeah.
I
Oh no, that was 2019. That was 2019.
what was
That was in October. The AJ Styles winning United States Championship. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of Crown Jewel events. I can't even find the right one.
too many crown jewels. None of them
Yeah,
are heard.
I searched up Crown Jewel, and that's what came up. But yeah,
Yeah, I gotta. You guys,
Yeah,
keep
but-
going, because I gotta find.
we went a little bit
what
off
this
topic.
was.
Wow. How did we get to Saudi Arabia? that
Talking
conversation.
shit. That's how we got to
So
Saudi.
legit.
We're talking shit, yeah. But I got 26 as well.
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep for there. Next bracket matchup is 22 versus 31. The Triple H versus John Cena, and then the Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar match at 31. I'll kick this one off. I'll say the 31 main event because again, based off what I said before, that cash in would, even though that wasn't the advertised match, it was still a moment that, people won't forget probably in years to come. So I want to say 31 for that one.
Yeah, I'm totally with you for 31. All the way over 22. Loved
Yeah.
22.
Yeah. I love Triple H and John Cena, but that moment was just you can't not talk about it.
You can't not talk about 31's moment. Yeah, it was revolutionary. So
Exactly. 31.
You think clean sweep, Joel?
Yeah, clean sweep.
Ooh, a lot of clean sweeps in the next round. Wow. Now down to the final four. WrestleMania 15 versus WrestleMania 28. Yeah, Stone Cold versus The Rock, and then Rock versus Cena.
That's kind of cool. It came down to that. Wow.
Yeah, both of them have The Rock in it, so it's pretty cool. Oof. This is a tough one.
You want me to start it off?
Sure.
I will die on this fucking hill. WrestleMania 15.
I know
I
it.
will
I knew
die
it.
on this hill.
I knew it. And you know what? I guarantee anyone watching is like, "Fuck yeah, Joel!"
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
got at least
Exactly.
one person agreeing with me.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Jonah, do you want to go next? I got to think about this one.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be the tiebreaker because I
Yeah.
sentimentally and everything. I have to go at 28 because that's my childhood. Like when it comes down to
Exactly.
it, 15 is the kickoff of that generation, who I respect very much because they put wrestling on the map in the way. And then for me, growing up, like this was like my, even though I was totally rooting for Rock, Cena was like in essence our guy going up against their guy, so it was kind of cool to watch that play out. But I think I'm sticking with 28.
This is a tough one for me. I don't know. I think I might just go with. I'm gonna go with 15.
Nick, you bastard! You bastard!
I wasn't expecting that.
I think I'm gonna go with 15 because I think, I love The Rock versus Cena, but then I know this is 29 had nothing to do with the build up for 28, but like the second one between the two didn't need to happen. Whereas the Rock versus Stone Cold, people don't mind the second and third match between the two, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because people, you might get a mixed reaction between the 29 main event to where it's like, we didn't need a second one. But for Rock versus Austin, it was a trilogy and no one will ever forget.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I had to choose 15 because it was just a memorable rivalry between the two top faces at that time. That's why I had to choose. I love the Rock versus the Cena match.
Yeah.
But again, generational talents. You know, the Rock, the top guy in his generation versus the guy I grew up on. So, I had to go with 15. It was just the start of something that people would never forget. Like I said,
so I had to go with that.
I mean, I wasn't expecting it either, but I was like,
not expecting that.
I had to go with that one. I don't know.
I respect
now, second to last matchup, WrestleMania 26 versus 31. Undertaker versus Shawn versus Rock versus Brock versus Seth Rollins. I also have this one off. I'll go with 26. That one was an iconic feud, iconic storyline. Even though the 25 one was a better match, the 26 one was a better storyline.
Yeah.
So, I think the 31 again. I did say the last two rounds at 31. People are not going to forget that in the years to come. But also the retirement and how special the 26 one was, especially the moment afterwards when that like Jonah said too before, the realization of how Shawn Michaels impacted the wrestling business, that also got me too after that match.
Yeah,
because I grew up watching the later career of Shawn Michaels, not the early career of Shawn Michaels. So then I knew he was a big star in the wrestling company, in the wrestling world, but I didn't know how much he meant until that match was over. Kind of like the Ric Flair moment where Ric Flair was like the standing ovation stuff. So I had to go with 26.
Gotcha.
Joel, what do you have for this one?
I'm gonna go with 31 just because of like what I said before. Like people were shitting on that match and it delivered before Rollins even came out and really showed that these two guys could go at it with each other and proved everybody wrong. 26 is no denying. That was a great main event. Like you said, 25 was better, but this one had the better storyline. But 31 I think was just the kickoff for the newer generation of the Rollins, the Reigns, those guys coming up from NXT, all these guys. This is like the peak moment of where you're like, all right, these guys are gonna be the face of the company for the next couple years. And I gotta go with 31 for that.
Okay, good point, good pick. Jonah, tiebreaker.
Yeah,
what do you got?
I'm gonna
no
go.
Pressure.
I'm going with my boy Lesnar here. I really am with 31. Yeah, because 26. It's so good. It really is. It's probably the better match, But like Joel is saying, I love when people get proved wrong, especially in like the wrestling community, shitting on that. Because albeit we didn't need like the 10 others that came after it, but that
Yeah.
Roman and Brock was a really great match, and
Yeah.
it really pulled the wool over my eyes, and I'm assuming a lot of other people's too. That like I thought it was just their match. Like, I had no clue something was coming at the end. I really
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe a cash in at the end. Like everyone was thinking maybe Rollins might do something, but nobody was expecting what he actually did.
Yeah,
And
it was more hoping and
it was
Yeah.
more,
not knowing.
yeah, exactly. And the fact that he beat both of them, and I love cash-ins that make you think he might not actually win, and that
Yes.
was kind of like that one too. Because I mean, oh man, I love Brock so much, especially Beast Brock. And when he picked him out of the air, I was like, no, he's gonna ruin his cash. Like
Yeah.
it was
Exactly.
great. It was really, really cool. So, and also another cool thing, Rollins wrestled earlier that night, right? Against
Yeah.
Orton.
Yes.
So that was
Yeah.
exciting to see him twice in one show. And he really started it and ended it, I think, right? Wasn't that
I,
like the beginning match or something? One of the first matches?
I think it was
I
like the
think so.
second. I think it was
The
like the
second,
second or third. Yeah.
Yeah.
third, yeah. So yeah, I'm going with 31 over that one for sure.
Okay. Okay. I thought someone was going to agree with me on 26, but I guess not. I had a feeling I was going to be like, cool, this one's going to go to the next round.
You really
But
never.
yeah.
Wow, these are the final two.
The final two,
God,
the
you know what's
final
crazy?
brackets.
None of these were even touching my final bracket.
The fifth.
In the last round, like the
I didn't think
last
about it
round I
either. Yeah.
had personally was 19 and 17.
Right.
I had 15 and 26. I thought
Oh,
someone.
okay.
So I was like, one of them is, but who wants to start this one off? 15, 31 to determine the greatest main event in WrestleMania history.
Nah, I'm not me. Not it.
I guess I'll start it off.
You wanna
I
start it
guess
off next? Start it off.
yeah. I'm gonna choose 31. I'm gonna choose 31. I do stand on the comments I made about 15 in the last round, but I think hearing what you guys had to say about 31 kind of like really put into perspective for me of how like, you know, like you said, Jonah, I didn't like the rest of the matches of Brock versus Roman after that match, at Mania match, but that Mania between Brock and Roman, and what you said, Joel, is like that was a great performance between the two. Very underrated, very heavy hitting. It proved exactly what people thought about it going into it. And I remember watching that Mania. I'm like, is this actually happening? Is Seth actually coming out? I thought it was just like a tease, you know, like I thought he was just like playing his music to like distract one of them.
Yeah.
But then he actually came out, and I'm like, oh shit! And I was standing up. That feeling that I have at 31, also like,
You always remember that moment.
yeah,
It's one of
yeah,
those moments that you're just like, yo, do you remember where you were when Rollins cashed in?
Yep.
exactly,
It's one
yeah,
of those.
definitely one of those moments. So I gotta have to go with 31 for this one. I respect Rock and Austin, but
You want me to go or Jonah? You want to go?
whoever wants to go next, whoever wants to go
I
next.
feel like Joel should go because I have mine in my mind and I think he has his.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
gonna
Joel,
be
go
the
first. Go first.
tiebreaker, Jonah, because I'm picking 15.
Yeah.
I made the case for 31 before, but 15 is just that match. Overall, just the first time we saw Austin and Rock for the championship. Even the lead up to it, the build up, both having two different lead ups, like storylines, with
Yeah.
Rock and Mankind throwing the belt back and forth to each other, building that up, and who's gonna be the champion at Mania, to having Austin and Vince feud and the at the Royal Rumble and all that happening, then doing the cage match in February at the St. Valentine's Massacre. That's where we saw a Big Show debut. Um, and just that build up alone helps it make my case. I love the 31 match, love the build up, but just 15 I think was just so perfect building it up and then actually having this match that everybody's been waiting for, anticipating, and this was like the first time we finally got to see it for the world title. We saw it for the IC title. We saw it in singles matches, uh, tagged up against each other a couple times, but for actually being the for the world title and actually like WWF telling us like, yo, these are the two guys now. Like this was the first one that they were like, these are the new guys. This is the new generation. It's Rock and Austin now. It's not Shawn and Brett. It's not Hogan Savage. It's not all this. This is the new generation, and this was like the first taste that we got of the rivalry.
Yeah, that is true. Jonah, buddy,
Man, I was
tiebreaker.
listening to that. Joel was swaying me.
Drum roll.
That was great. Amazing, reasoning there and everything.
Seth Rollins
So
cash in.
tough. It's so
Choose that
tough.
one.
I have to go with 31 because I was there. I felt that. And also not even just because I was there. It's just an incredible moment. Like it's just it's so cool. Not that 15 isn't. You got to look at 15 and realize that without 15, we probably wouldn't have the landscape of wrestling we have today.
Yep.
Like that really kicked off something incredible for the wrestling business. But moment-wise, for me, is 31. And I think this is probably the best two to end on because it really shows that, like, I'm going to say 31, Joel's going to say 15, but, like, you get someone on here who was born, I don't know, like 10 years earlier than us, they're going to, like, kill us for any of us. 31 over 15. They're going to be
like, how do you even have these two?
Exactly, yeah. And the concept of this show, too, is, like, 17 ended in the first round. You know what I mean?
Right.
We just haven't... Jonah and I chose 26 over 17. I was like, damn, I didn't. No one knew that. I mean, you know what I mean? So
at that moment, people dropped out of the fucking video.
No one knows who the winner is besides us three. But there we go. 31, WrestleMania 31. Brock versus Roman versus Seth Rollins was determined between us three, the greatest Mania main event of all time. Thank you, Jonah, for coming on. Really appreciate it. We had a great time discussing this.
I loved it. No, this sooner than 2 years ago because this was really fun. Like I loved
it.
Definitely.
Tell you that Saudi bracket, man.
Saudi bracket would be really fun. They're doing.
You got to come back with a Saudi bracket. You got to do that.
Coming back Saudi, yeah. When they buy the company, let's do the list. Topical.
Topical.
Yeah. Jonah, you want to plug in your stuff or where they can find you and what's coming up for you on your show?
Sure, yeah. Check out Rewind Recap Relive on YouTube. You've got a ton of stuff. You can also at R3 Jonah, what you see there. You type that in the YouTube also. It's like the new YouTube handle, but tons of cool interviews. Just put out one with Melina. This is a great concept. I respect really unique concepts. Mine is to have a rising star on with a veteran and hear any advice. So I like different concepts in the wrestling show. Little community we got here, so respect to you guys. But yeah, at R3 Jonah, tons of interviews for coming up on 3 years almost now, so that's gonna be
wow.
But
that's crazy. I think we met you around the time that we started, and you started around the same time too, right?
Yeah, we've all been on this ride for going on 3 years now because we all basically started in 2020 at some point with COVID, right? So like we're all and we're all still going, a lot of us, right? There's a lot of new faces, but I see a lot of old faces too, so it's always good to see the ones that stuck around. But check it out if you want to see some cool interviews, and definitely always check out Ring Fanatics if you're here already. I'm assuming you are, but like, that's great. You guys are doing crazy things. Like your reels, I see you posting. Awesome.
Thank you.
That, yeah, because you guys, I mean, the debates you guys have, you have to put that out there. I think the innovation is really cool that I'm seeing, like in the community. A lot of new tactics. All we used to do was like post links, right? But now we're like So it's cool, very cool. Thank you so much for having me on, though.
You're welcome. We definitely had a great time having you on. Definitely going to come back in the future.
Hell yeah, it's always fun when you're on, man.
Exactly.
And I actually have to meet Joel. Nick met you.
Yeah, you met me. You haven't met Joel yet, so we got to do something together.
We got to get to the show together.
Yeah,
for sure. One of these live events. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So go check out Rewind Recap Relive. It's a tongue twister. I almost messed it up in the beginning. I was like, wait, did I say it right? I was like,
I have a video I want to make because I get show bumpers now from the wrestlers, and it's the funniest thing watching them say it. They all mess up the first time. And so it's like, I want to try to put some together. Like RVD was the best. He was like, Rewind Recap what? Like,
yeah, that's funny.
No, that's definitely great content right there.
Yeah, that'll get a lot of views.
Hell yeah.
But go check out Jonah's channel. Give him a subscribe. Watch his recent interviews. Great interviews. I love them all.
Thank you.
So yeah, this has been episode number 3 of the Fanatic Brackets of the new year. My name is Nick. Joining me was Joel and Jonah, of course. And we will see you guys next month.
Catch him.